At this point, I feel like Moon dying is just going to turn into some ongoing sick joke that the writer has. Like, let's just have her die every single episode. Oh, she's dead again. Oh, look, she's dead. I'm never going to believe it at this point. Because she's literally died, I think, at this point, 3 times. Yeah, like, this is the 3rd time. Because they've killed her and faked her out so many times, I'm just never going to believe it. Like, even if they go through the whole process of, like, her body is decomposing in front of him, I don't think it's going to be real. Now, there is a side of me that believes because of how she dies in episode 4 at the end there, how similar that looks to when she was dead in the bed. There's a side of me that almost believes back there could have been a premonition of what he is seeing now. That somebody has the ability to show Lin Ling something, and they showed him that she's going to die. And then now later on, after this whole thing unfolds, they're going to go, I tried to show you, but you failed to protect her. I showed you that she was going to die. I showed you that vision, but you failed to protect her. Which would lead me to believe that the idea of E-Soul, I think that's E-Soul, E-Soul coming to kill her was inevitability. And now, again, the whole reason that Moon is dead right now, if she's actually dead, I keep having to put that add on to there, is because the organization wants her dead. Because of everything that happened with this whole situation, it seemed like at the beginning of episode 4, they were sending somebody to kill Moon. Now, it turned out that this guy that they sent seemed to have the ability to erase their memories, and thus that would be a good way of kind of erasing Moon, get her out of the picture, then kind of do a cover-up. But there was a side that it almost felt like they were sending somebody to get rid of Moon. So I have no doubt they sent E-Soul, which I believe is going to be one of the top 10. They sent E-Soul to kill Moon. Now, how did he get there? I'm assuming he went to the teleporter with Lin Ling, or he looks like he's kind of a Flash character, so maybe he flashed across the sea and got there and then took him out. I don't know. In the end, it could be actually a real death this time, and this was what somebody gave Lin Ling a vision of, and he failed to protect her. The way that she's laying there, the look on her face, the look on her face, she's dead. The blood splatter and everything, it looks like that same vision from back then. It's just how they sent that to him, that vision to him and all that kind of stuff. That's a big question mark there. But again, I'm never going to believe it because they've faked it out too many times. It's a joke at this point. The shock value is just at this point, it's getting old. That aside, my criticism of how that's overplayed aside, this was an incredible episode. I loved this episode, and it played out how I expected it, but it didn't go the route that I mostly thought it was going to go into. This was the episode of Lin Ling, Nice, his fall. I knew this was going to be the moment that Nice himself has fallen. But my question mark was where they're going to go from there. Is he going to be permanently beaten down? And this is where we'll get an insight into a fallen hero. He becomes a nothing again. It shows us how weak and fragile that trust and that love that people have for the heroes is. Or is it going to be a show of, yes, Lin Ling becoming the hero? And that's the direction it went. And I think they pulled that off excellent. Because they've been basically breadcrumbing for a while now, people asking him, and they show those clips in here in this episode again as well, the idea of, is this who you want to be? Be yourself, man. Just be who you want to be. Is this what you really want? That question keeps coming up, and this is where it finally has an answer come up. Let's get into the episode proper, opening up with, yes, you have got Eye up there. He's got Moon. Obviously, Lin Ling's freaking out. He's going to go rush over there. Everybody's telling him no, stop. Now, here's cool. Again, the trust that people have and the focus that people have on a hero will affect them. Yes, it does seem like Nice's trust is coming down. People are losing trust in him because this stuff's being lambasted. Moon's alive? What the heck? How easily and fragile that trust is, because everybody's just looking what's on the television and they're all believing it. Like literally anybody can get on the television and say, Nice is a fake. And then suddenly everybody goes, oh, really? It's on TV, so it's gotta be true. It's like they see a moon on there and we find out it's actually a fake moon, but he created a doll that looks like Moon and everybody believed it. And thus his trust value was coming down. But I liked more so in the scene because it shows how Lin Ling, as Nice, is trying to get over there, but he can't because those that want to defend Nice, there's a lot of people that are going, no, don't believe this stuff. Nice would never do that. People still believe in him, still give him the trust, but they're also affecting him negatively in the idea they're saying, don't go there. He's challenging Nice, but they're saying, don't go there. Don't give into this. Don't believe this stuff. Just ignore it. And that's causing him to suddenly not be able to move. Like it even gets to the point where he literally collapses and he can't move. He's frozen. He's just stuck there. So Miss J knew it was coming. Almost wanted to figure that at some point would show that she was inserting things into people to kind of get them to respond. Hey guys, this. And then everybody kind of feeds off of that. Posting with a high follower count, fan count or something like that to say, he shouldn't even go there, just to get Nice to stop. That way they can send whoever they send up there. But anyways, yes, he can't go up there. She points out that, yes, you're a hero. This is your job. This is what you signed up for. This is your life. This is your life. This is what you signed up for. This is not what you want. Is this not what you came here for? Again, this is like that first sign that Miss J is giving to Nice, or to Lin Ling. This is what it is. This is what I was talking about back there. This is what we're getting into back here when I said at some point you're going to have that decision. At some point you're going to have to make that choice. Just like Nice, the last Nice, had to make that choice at some point. But yes, that's when they send Blankster up there. The guy that has physical damage with his punches, but also destroys opponents' memories and starts beating the crap out of them. Now, there's a side of me that felt like with him showing up there and doing the punches, and they were afraid of like, oh crap, now she's going to forget everything. That's fine. It's probably best that Moon forgets everything and everybody moves on. Just let the two of them forget everything ever happened, and we all move on with our lives. I almost thought later on, when it did come to the moment where Lin Ling was finally winning and he was going to go to Moon, I'm like, yeah, watch, she's going to completely forget him. And now, granted, I think at some point the doll was calling out for him, if I remember correctly. I might be wrong there. I might be just thinking of the fans, but yeah, I was like, yeah, she's going to totally forget. That would be the total luck right there. But yes, God Eye calls out his stuffing his gloves with plates and that he's a total fake, plummets his trust, takes him down. This is where we'll get into heavily similar to what we did with Fernman, the situation affecting all heroes. And the idea that, yes, with them essentially plummeting the trust of this Blankster, it's going to affect all the heroes because they're all part of the same organization. And this guy's calling out how fake this organization is and all the heroes that are in this organization are. That's the big problem they're having there. But yes, that's eventually when Nice decides to finally fight against it, basically discarding Nice. That was the interesting part. Because he kept pushing against it, his broadcast comes up there like, what the heck is this promo? It's like literally the last promo that Lin Ling made, which I thought was cute. Kind of reminding him of what he originally became a hero for. He became a hero to essentially go after this thing that he dreamed of. And yes, a lot of it had to do with Moon. And so right now, he's choosing between listening to the fans that are giving him his power and being nice versus going and saving the person that he loves so much, which is Moon, the one that he's always looked up to, the one that has always pulled him out of the dark place that he was in. And so he's fighting against it, which is cool because as he's walking, as he's pushing against that hero's curse, essentially, he has to break out of being nice. He sheds Nice. Nice literally falls off of him. He's no longer Nice. He's pushing as himself, which I thought was a really cool way of sort of portraying that. And this is something that we've seen with the first episode, that as he became more and more as Nice, as his appearance was that, as he was essentially intercepting the trust going to Nice, he became Nice. Physically, he did. His hair color literally changed. His body mass, his eye color, all of it changed to Nice, which was really, really weird. But yes, he says, I'm sorry, it was never Nice. I'm such an idiot. Runs down there. Everybody's like, who the hell is this guy? He kind of looks like Nice. Who is this guy? Kind of just running past them. Goes up there and yes, faces off against God Eye, which at that point he calls him out for being a liar, doesn't really care. Nice is dead, admits to everything, pretty much puts the nail in the coffin for Nice. I like Miss J's over there like, it's over. It's over. I'm done. We're done. It's all over. But yeah, just kind of rambling on about everything, admitting everything. God Eye on Lighter pretty much saying it's probably some sort of new PR campaign trying to shut him up. And then yes, at some point, everybody completely losing the trust in him. But it was still cool because as people were gossiping about the fact that yes, this is all a lie, Nice is all a lie, Nice is actually dead, all this stuff, he's losing his trust. And everybody's leaving him behind, there was still a lot of people that were seeing things logically, which is kind of a surprise. Again, this is this idea of the world itself being manipulated by anything that people spread. That people are so easily manipulated by society, social media, and the media itself. That stuff manipulating people. But then still having some people going, but wait, if Nice was dead, then it was Lin Ling that was at the funeral. It was Lin Ling that was crying for Moon when she was dead. That's the good person. That's the one that we were watching there. They're making a connection there that this is somebody that is actually worthy of the title, so to speak. It's kind of what I was seeing there, which is kind of cool. But yeah, this is when we have God Eye in Lighter makes his speech. But I think this is probably going to be sort of a deeper plot line. It's not a deep thing here, but I think it is sort of a pretty cool thing they're getting into here. In the idea that as Lin Ling is down, as Nice is down, as he's struck down, he's making this grand speech saying how fake their heroes are. Look at this guy. Look at how fake he is. You created him from nothing. Real heroes have gone extinct
because of their actions. He's pointing out specifically the organizations of heroes that are currently present. Yeah, the company that Lin Ling is working for. This company is creating fake heroes. This is who you're putting your trust into. And it's killed the real heroes, implying that there is other people out there that was once heroes that are no longer heroes because it's all become corporatized. It's whoever the companies want to present to you is your heroes. And the ones that were really real heroes, like, say, for instance, Firm Man, when he was a firefighter, that was a real hero. And what Lin Ling, I think, turns into is a real hero. Somebody that is a hero because of their actions, not necessarily because this company put them on a billboard. That's where it feels like Enlighter is technically spitting truth. There is a truth behind what Enlighter is doing here. He's exposing fake heroes. And I do really like that aspect of his character in this moment right here, even though he's a dirtbag. Even though he's a dirtbag. But yes, he also says the one that's responsible aren't the commission or the hero agencies, but all of you in the audience. You fans that eat up that social media, you eat up those billboards, you eat up those media campaigns, you're the ones that make these fake heroes. Really interesting, very interesting. But to answer that, which I really love, is Lin Ling essentially becoming exactly what he wants. Yes, being nice, he was a fake, but Lin Ling right here literally turns into a real hero. He literally stands up against Enlighter. He tells him exactly what he wants. He didn't want to be a hero just to be nice. He didn't want to be a hero to be number 10. He wanted to be a hero because he fell for her. He wants to be a hero right now because in front of him is the one that he fell in love with, found a woman that he wants to give his life for. He headbutts him. That was such a good moment. Just bam. I love it. That was literally, the music kicks up. It was literally like the epic moment of the entire episode. It's just absolute peak cinema right there. Just absolute peak cinema. Bam, right headbutt right into him. Again, wanting to become a real hero. Showing him that he deserves to be a real hero. And everybody at that moment, everybody sees it. Everybody sees this guy literally is fighting tooth and nail to try to survive. And it's funny because, yes, there was still some people that were commenting about how, is this fake? Is this another show? Is this another PR campaign? What are they doing here? It's almost like the corporations are messing up their own system here because they do these theatrics so much. You wonder what is true and what's not. That's what they're kind of fighting with. But yeah, I love how the entire time Lin Ling is going nuts on him. He's getting all these vulnerability notifications because Lin Ling is full of vulnerabilities. He's so weak. He's not a real hero. He's just a person. I like how they say that later on. He's just a person. He's not a hero. He doesn't have a hero name. He's just a person. But yeah, as he's fighting them, cut to a couple people, them all mentioning the idea they want to sign him up. I don't think we've really kind of seen any of these people, but it seems like they're heads of big groups. And yeah, all the way to the end, beating the crap out of him, he eventually reaches to above where Nice was. Above where Nice was originally. But yeah, after he knocks him down, he goes over to a fake moon. It was just a doll. He just wanted to basically make him confess. That was the whole purpose of this whole thing. He doesn't even know where Moon is. I assume that he just knows that she is alive, but he just created a fake moon just to kind of expose him, which... Lin Ling's like, literally, you're anti-fake. You don't like this stuff, and yet you're faking it. What the hell are you talking about? Yeah, I just want you to see how much I hate fakes. You know, now you can sympathize with me. It was dumb. It was dumb. But yeah, really cool segment. Basically, the birth of a hero, the birth of an actual hero. Like I said, not a fake corporate hero, not one that was put on billboards. This is Lin Ling going up there and saying, "This is me." And I have a thing that I'm fighting for, a thing that I originally wanted to become a hero for, which is Moon, and I'm here for it. Which, yes, leads into the after scene that I still hate. That, yes, Moon is out in the middle of this deserted island. She didn't realize that she would go to a deserted island. There's nobody here. She's probably going to die alone. She's like, I left my teleporter back at home, so I'm kind of screwed. But yes, that's when Lin Ling shows up. Now, I didn't want to think about this too much, but I ended up thinking about it. I don't know, how did Lin Ling utilize the teleportation spell? Like, he uses her gun, which the gun is her powers. So how did he use it? Unless anybody could pick up her gun that is her power and use it. I understand why it's now working. There could be an aspect that because Moon was there, even though she was a fake, the fact that there is these now rumors that were presented by Enlighter that Moon is still alive, it could be a lot of the fans of Moon could now be hoping that she's still alive again, and that trust goes to her again. Thus, the gun suddenly works again. That's my theory as to why the gun would work. But yes, the question mark is still, why can Lin Ling use it? Unless it's the fact that people now want Lin Ling and Moon to be together, and thus the power works for him. I don't know. There's ways of explaining it, but whatever. But yes, he shows up, and he's like, are you enjoying your time here? You forgot your gun. She's like, I'm literally never going to have another vacation again, before she has a vacation. This is the last time I'm taking an extended vacation, and then takes a vacation. Again, there's a side of me that just, whatever. This is like the third time she's died. Is she even dead this time? Is the next episode gonna literally open up to Lin Ling, and he's waking up in his bed, and he's like, what did I just see there? Did I actually see what I saw? Oh, whatever. Let's go to this next convention. And he completely forgets about Moon again. Or is this, again, what the vision was given to him back when he first arrived in that apartment, and he failed to stop that vision? And this is the moment where he has to fight E-Soul. Now, if they continue this scene in the next episode, and they don't do this crap again, yeah, obviously Lin Ling versus E-Soul happening. I don't see Lin Ling not completely losing it with E-Soul. Now, E-Soul could have immediately run away. Like, the moment that this has happened, I did my job. They hired, again, my theory is that they want Moon dead. The company wants Moon dead. And so they had E-Soul finish the job. Yeah, she didn't die back here. We kind of let her just be. Even the whole conversation with Miss J having with the boss was, we didn't even know where she was at. She disappeared before we could do this. Kind of gave an indication that Miss J was probably ordered back then to get rid of her. But she orchestrated it to where Moon can get out of there. And then Moon disappears because she goes to the portal. So she never knew where she was at. So now there's a possibility they know where she's at now. They're like, okay, we can't have this happen again. Get rid of this Moon girl. She's causing too much problems. It's better that she's not existing. That's why I think they sent E-Soul. And so I think E-Soul, now the job's done, is just going to get out of there. I don't think he's going to hang around and say, all right, Lin Ling, what do you got, huh? Let's go. But again, it could just, even with that, I'm curious, can Lin Ling still fly? Is he going to be able to fly off the island? Or can he still use that teleportation gun to get back out? Either way, he's probably going to go after E-Soul. And that's going to probably turn into some interesting stuff there. Now, unfortunately, with how the caption is at the end, it says 15 days left till the 21st Heroes Tournament. With how that caption pops up at the end, I really do feel like it's just going to shrug this off. And I really don't like that. I have a feeling that it's going to be like, I can't believe it happened. You know, back to being Lin Ling, the hero. I'll get my revenge on E-Soul at the tournament. I hope not. I hope it's not that cheesy. Anyways, we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, rip Moon for the third time. Rip Moon for the third time. Hope you guys enjoyed my impressions of episode 4 of Tu Bian Yingxiong X. Still in a fantastic series. Absolutely loving it. But yeah, if you like this content, you want to support the channel more, I have links in the description below. Greatly appreciate it. Until next time, y'all take care.